Hi, so I'm going to present you today with this client case study. Now, I always say with clients and with children, never have favorites. So I'm not going to say that this is my favorite, but I am really excited to present this to you today in particular. So let's dive in. A bit of background. So this particular client was running a property investment business, assisting clients with their property investment portfolio and their strategy, and was seeing what was happening on the finance side of things and wanted to be a part of it. But where do you start with something like that? You need a consistent lead flow, referral partners. He had no existing book of business or anything like that. So that was the problem. Lead flow, non-existent. Referrals, not consistent. So where does growth come from that? It's different for every one of our clients. Perhaps it's an inconsistent lead flow that you have because you're relying on referrals that are becoming consistent, or you're looking to move away from your aggregator, for example, and go out on your own, or you're looking to scale and grow and bring on new brokers. But often what we find is, one of the core issues that our clients come to us with is a lead flow that is not consistent. In this case, non-existent. Referrals that are inconsistent also. And so in terms of scaling and growth, where can you kind of go with these two issues? Well, you need a solution, which he did, and he came and found us, and we were able to solve that for him. So let's have a look at his results. Since the implementation of our infrastructure and strategy, he now has a full-time, private and exclusive source of leads, along with a done-for-you qualified appointment booking system. That system made him $35,000 and counting in the first month alone. So this system is consistently building his book of business as well as immediate revenue. Currently, it's looking like this asset that we've built for him and we've placed inside his business that he owns is going to generate, and it depends on how he chooses to grow and scale this in the future, but as it stands at the moment, it's going to generate 170 to 200 leads per month, 60 plus qualified appointments per month, and in the first 2 weeks alone, it generated $100,000 in pipeline revenue and $35,000 in one revenue. So let's have a look. In terms of lead generation, what were we able to achieve? So 172 leads from this particular campaign at $12 each. Now, if you've done any lead generation before or you know much about it, that is a really great result. But also, if you've done lead generation before or you've watched any of my training videos, you know that that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. What is important about this is where it falls into the infrastructure that captures it and that it falls into to be able to generate qualified booked appointments and revenue, money in the bank. So let's see what those figures look like, because that's really, where we need to be seeing that. So you can see here, $403,000 in pipeline revenue and $43,000 in one revenue we were able to turn that into. So naturally, the client is ecstatic. They overachieved return on investment within just 2 weeks of working with us. So imagine that, you're particularly in your industry, you're a bit nervous, you've tried lead generation before. Again, that possibly was the issue. Lead generation alone is not going to get you these kind of results in this kind of time frame. But you're a little bit nervous, you've maybe tried this before, you've been burnt. There are people out there that claim to be able to achieve these kinds of things with just isolated lead generation tactics. It's not going to happen. But you think, look, okay, this sounds great. Maybe too good to be true, but it sounds great. Let's give it a go. And within 2 weeks, you have return on investment, and the rest of that is for you. The rest, what he has been able to achieve from week 2 onwards, is totally for him to enjoy, or for him to put back into his business to further scale and grow. And I suppose also for him to live, the life that he imagined when he was kind of looking from the other side over and seeing, what kind of goes on in this industry and the possibility that is out there. So that's great for him. The timeline, what did it look like for him? So week one, things are warming up. A lot of new leads are coming in and 8 qualified booked appointments booked into the calendar, all done for him. Week 2, things are still looking really good. Another 10 qualified booked appointments. And at this point, $100,000 in revenue is now in the pipeline, and he closes his first deal for $20,000. What a first deal. Week 3. So now a flow is really starting to happen. He's able to sit back and see how this all works. 18 qualified booked appointments in week 3 booked into his calendar for him, and $120,000 in pipeline revenue. And at this point, $25,000 in one commissions. Week 4. Now the client's really seeing the flow of things. Qualified booked appointments fall into his calendar each day with borrowers who want to talk to him. This isn't buying leads or cold calling or anything like that. These appointments are with borrowers who have been qualified and booked in with him. These leads have been generated by him and for him only. And so they come into that meeting and they have been communicated with by him and by his brand, and they want to speak and do business with him. So, and this is something that we have built and implemented within his business. So he owns this system that is doing all of this. So what does 1 month of having our infrastructure implemented in his business look like if we take a step back? So in the first month, $35,000 in revenue and counting. And that's one revenue. That is money in the bank, commissions that are due to him. Return on his investment was made within 2 weeks, more or less. And everything from week 3 onwards is for him to put back into his business, to use to enjoy himself, to further scale, whatever he wants to do. We're only in week 3. We have, he has the whole rest of forever in front of him. We can have a quick look here. So this is just organizing one of our weekly check-ins that we do in the first month. And a couple of questions I've asked him here. So how many deals have you marked as won? How much commission do you have pending in the pipeline? And how much of that do you expect to close? So he's come back and said, look, I'll explain these figures when we speak and let you know where the most revenue is coming from and we can do some optimization. But he said the first one will be worth around 20,000 that we already saw. Around 12 have been marked as won. The expected order is for 35,000 so far, and he would expect to close all of those that have been marked as won. So that is fantastic. Now, a quote from the client. I'm going to play you actually a short clip of his week 2 consulting session that we did, where I mentioned that he had said this. But there aren't many people in my industry who have had good experiences with lead generation services. This is so much more than just lead generation. This is a qualified appointment setting and a business growth infrastructure that I now own, customized to my business. I'm beyond satisfied. So what we can do now is I'm going to quickly show you live in his account, his dashboard, where we can see a little more up to date and even more impressive figures than what I showed you earlier in the screenshot. And then at the end, I'm going to show you just a short, maybe 45-second clip of a few moments from our week 2 strategy call, so you can hear from the horse's mouth, so to speak, as to what he thinks about what we've been able to achieve by implementing this. So first, let's have a look here. So this is his dashboard, and you can see here the dates that this is a little over a month now, and 292 leads, 42 of those won, 660,000 in pipeline revenue, and 53,000 sitting here as one revenue. This figure actually will be quite a bit more, I suspect, once we get the final figures, what we do is we apply each lead a default value when it comes into the system until we apply the proper data as to how much that lead was worth once it's become a closed deal. And so this is using that default value. And as we saw before, even just one of these was actually worth about 20,000. So a lot more than the default value that we apply to it. So that figure, once we do that, should actually be a lot more, but I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at either. You can see down here, we can see the various pipelines and what stage of the pipeline everything is in. So you can see kind of how things funnel down. We can see our lead source reporting, so what creatives and different things are getting us the best results. Google Analytics, Google Business Profile, and ads reporting and everything like that. So this is just a quick snapshot that can be really quickly referred to see how things are going in the account. We also have a separate, very, very extensive and detailed reporting document as well that we keep up to date. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play a quick snapshot from that week 2 consulting call, just so you can hear from the horse's mouth, so to speak. We're also getting him to film a direct to camera testimonial to speak on this, but until we have that up, I'll play this for you now.
And how's everything going? Because I can see lots of leads coming through, Lay's booking lots of appointments. I think you're reaching out to some of them and getting them sorted. So how's the process flowing?
The process is flowing really, really good. The front end, so far, it's looking really, really sharp.
Okay, perfect. That's what we like to hear. All glad things are going well. I'm glad you're happy.
No. It's looking really good. It's looking really good. I'm really excited. My expected orders at the moment is looking like 35 and okay, so that's probably 58 and probably another 5s.
Yeah.
I'm very, very satisfied with how things are going, though, to be honest with you.
Perfect. That's what we want. Because as you said, I mean, especially in your industry, there's very few people that have been happy and satisfied with people doing lead generation. I mean, what we're doing is more than lead generation, so I think that helps. That definitely helps. But yeah, there's not many people. So I'm glad that you, until now, are. And we'll keep it that way.
I think the point setting side is really, really good. Really good on that front point setting, which we're...
Now, wherever you're viewing this at the moment, ideally there is a link somewhere, book now, learn more, something like that, in order for you to book in your own demo session of how this might look implemented in your business. If this could be a good fit, we'll look at where you're at the moment, where you're looking to go, and develop a 2 to 3 month growth plan for you. And just run the numbers and see what something like this might look implemented in your business and working together, if that does seem like it is the way to get you there. So that takes about 20 to 30 minutes. I mean, if you really want to take advantage of that session, you can push it out. We've got all the time in the world for you, but it doesn't need to take any more than 20 to 30 minutes. So book in for that demo, wherever that might be, and hopefully we will see you soon.